What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is going to be a regionals recap, and we're actually cover all top 8 decks from the Master Divisions from the Fort Wayne Regional Championship that happened about a week. And 3 days ago, not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago, Fort Wayne Regionals did happen. And this weekend coming up is actually London International Championship as well, which is fantastic. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Or Continental Challenge, sorry, the Continental Challenge. Which is like kind of the new nationals, quote unquote. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. It is streamed, so make sure you check that out. But let's go over these decks. We have done a ton of interviews with these players, but so we're not going to cover those decks. Those links are going to be down below in the description if you want to see those instead. But we're going to focus on the decks that we have not covered yet, or the people we have not covered yet. So first off, it's going to be the Grand Champion. It's going to be Jimmy Pendarvis. We've heard a lot about his finals. If you missed the interview with Andrew Mahone, link, like I said, it's going to be down below. Make sure you check that out. It's a fantastic interview. But Jimmy Pendarvis did play the Evital Garbodor deck. 3 Evital EX with the Evital and Y Cyclone, 2 Evital with the Pitch Black Spear, 2 Garbodor, and 2 Shaman EX. Now, I think the main difference between these two is that Mahone did play a baby Evital, the Oblivion one, and Jimmy Pendarvis did not. 9 Dark and 4 DC, which I'm pretty sure is the same count between these two lists. We get to switch between 9 and 4, 12 Pokemon. So you can see the only differences with those. So pretty standard, like I said, both these players played almost the same exact Pokemon and the same exact energies. Next up is going to be supporter cards, 4 Sycamore, 3 N, 2 Lysander, and this is where things get different. 1 Delinquent to discard any stadium card play. If you do this, your opponent discards 3 cards from their hand. And I think in the interview, Mahone talks about like how he accidentally puts himself down to 3 and the opponent's delinquents him. A Delinquent is a very interesting card. Like, if your opponent knows you play Delinquent, you can obviously not make it where you have your hand down to 3. But even if your opponent knows they had Delinquent, sometimes they'll forget about it and still put their hand down to 3. You could Delinquent them down to 0, and then they have no cards in their hand, which is fantastic. He did play 1 Pokemon Similarity instead of Olympia. If we flip over to Mahone's list, he did play Olympia instead, but Jimmy Pendarvis did play a Pokemon Similarity, which is going to help in the mirror match because Pokemon Similarity heals 6 damage and remove all special conditions for your Pokemon. Now, the reason why this helps so much in the mirror match is because this Fright Night Evital has Pitch Black Spirit, 60 and 62 a bench EX Pokemon. So if they hit like your baby Evital for 60, then a bench EX, where you're like, whatever, I'm just going to Pokemon Similarity, heal that damaged Evital EX, and that could swing the matchup in so much, which did happen in the finals. 2 Perilous City. So I know for sure Mahone played 3 Perilous City, while Jimmy's going to play 2. 4 Max Elixir, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker, 3 Fighting Bell, 3 Flowstone, sorry. 2 Enhanced Hammer, 2 Trainer's Mail, 1 Super Rod. The other difference is Mahone did play 3 Trainer's Mail, and he played 3 Max Elixir. So we see that Jimmy did cut a 3rd Trainer's Mail or a 4th Max Elixir. These lists are pretty common. They're pretty standard. But like I said, if you want to learn more about this deck, check out Andrew Mahone's video. The difference is like maybe 2 cards, or I guess 4 cards. Pokemon Similarity. He did not play this. He played an Olympia instead. He did not play a Delinquent. Instead, he played another Perilous City. And instead of 4 Maxwells, he played 3 Trainer's Maul. Oh, Mahone didn't play Super Rod either. So, what's the difference between there? Let's see if I can figure it out. 3 Flowstone? No, they both played 3 Flowstone. Alright, 3 in. 3 Perilous City. Wait, did you play 2 in? I don't know. I can't find it off the top of my head. 11, 13, 36. I mean, they both play the same amount. You can see it's just 1 card difference, and it's going to bug me if I can't find which one it is. Let's see. 3 Trainer's Mail, 2 Enhanced Hammer. I mean, you're probably screaming at me right now saying, hey, it's Squeaky, it's this. What are you doing? But I can't tell on the top of my head right now what it is. What's the one difference? I know Mahone did not play the Super Rod, but I can't tell what he has added instead of it. I don't know. But that's the main difference. I guess Jimmy somehow snuck a 60 card in there. Yep, I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. I know what it is. Mahone played the Evital, that's what it is. He played the Evital instead, and that's where Jimmy did find a room for the Super Rod. That's the difference right there. Alright, it took me a second, but I didn't look at the Pokemon side. which is the main difference. All right, so there we go. There's Jamie's deck. Like I said, not much to it. We've already covered a lot of this with Andrew Mahone's interview, so make sure you check that out if you want to learn more about the Evil Talk Boater deck. So next up, Chris DeRocher. We did an interview with him, talk about his Greninja break list. He did unfortunately lose to Andrew Mahone in top 4. And so if you want to learn more about that, link will be down below to the Greninja break deck list instead of me talking about it. All right, so next up is going to be Caleb. I'm playing a deck I love. I love this deck so much, and I'm so happy it made top 4 and in Fort Wayne. So that's going to be the Rainbow Road deck, or Rainbow Forest, whatever you call it, the Rainbow Road Xerneas deck. A Rainbow Forest does 10, and then 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. So if you have 8 different Pokemon, you can do 250 damage, which is not going to happen too much. You do play these dual type Pokemon, which do help you out a lot. Now, Caleb is going to play a Xerneas Break with that Life Stream. It does 20 damage, or 20 times as many injury cards in play, which includes DCs and regular energies. And this attack could be very strong out of nowhere. The main thing it does, it gives your Xerneas Break 30 more HP. You see Xerneas has 120, and the Break has 150. And this also going to help you out against Jolteon. Jolteon is a really a hard card for you counter, but with the break you can break, and then you can use Rainbow Forest, take a knockout that way to kind of cheat the system, which that's the main reason why Xerneas Break is in the deck. It is going to play a 2/2 Galvantula, a Jolted Galvantula with the double thread. It does 30 damage to two of your opponent's Pokemon. Apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon. So this way you can snipe Shaymins. You can do 30-30, hit both for 60, and then you can follow up the next turn for another 60-60, taking 4 prize cards, which is fantastic. Of course, like always, two Shaymins are like super common in almost every single deck nowadays. Caleb did play one Flygon with the Voice of the Sands. Once during your turn, before you attack, and this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may have your opponent switch his or her active Pokemon with his or her bench Pokemon. So it's kind of like a free escape rope every single turn, which is very annoying for your opponent if they do not see it coming. And it's a really interesting card. And also, it's another out against Jolteon, which I hate to keep bringing back up. If for some reason you're scared of Jolteon, you can use Voice in the Sands, switch out the Jolteon, and then Life Center back up to take a knockout that way. The next card is going to be very interesting. I know a lot of people probably wonder about this, but Genesect DX. Look, every single one of these Pokemon have a Raisin in its deck, which I do love a lot about Caleb's deck. Genesect DX has the Drive Chains. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may put a Pokemon Tool card attached to this Pokemon back into your hand. So this way you can pick up your EXP share, your Flowstone. You can just attach it to your Genesect before you Sycamore to discard it, but then you can put it on the Genesect and then pick it back up later on, which is fantastic. And that's the main reason why it's in here. I mean, of course, it's a different type, but we are going to abuse this ability. One Hoopa to Scoundrel, search for 3 EX Pokemon, and 1 Volcanion. We're not going to use Steam Up, don't worry about that, but it's definitely for the dual type. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different type of Pokemon on your bench, which is fantastic. Unless I did somebody twice. No, 9 different types on your bench, which is fantastic. I mean, that's more than 8 Pokemon, but still, you can. I mean, it's not 9 different Pokemon. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 9 different types of Pokemon with only 7 different Pokemon. Sorry, but still fantastic. You can easily take knockouts. You only need Volcanion and 5 Pokemon, and you can start taking knockouts, which is fantastic. And this deck is really strong, which is why Caleb made top 4. He's going to play 8 Fairy and 4 DCE. Alright, because Xerneas just needs a Fairy Energy and a DC to start attacking. So, its attacks training cards are going to support it. Are going to be 4 Sycamore, 3 N, 2 Life Center, bring a Pokemon off the bench, 1 Olympia to switch your active with your bench and heal 30 damage, 3 Skyfield, and this is how we're going to fill our bench up, of course. But he also played 1 Perilous City as well, which is very interesting. And I'm not 100% sure why he played this, unless he wants to counter certain decks, put them down to 3 or something. Oh man, if Caleb's watching this, let us know why he played Perilous City, man. Maybe I'll try to talk to some people and see why he played it. But maybe if he wants to discard certain Pokemon off his bench and then put his opponent down to 3, that could be a possibility, because your opponent, let's say your opponent plays Perilous City but no other trainer card, right, or another stadium card. besides Parallel City. So what you can do is you can Skyfield and the next turn Parallel City yourself, so your opponent can't put yourself down to 3, which is what I'm thinking why they put it in here, or why Caleb put it in here, because you could Parallel City yourself down to 5 and put your opponent down to 3 before they put you down to 3, and you run out of Skyfields, which I think is a very interesting play. Before Max Elixir, this is how we're going to try to power up our Xerneas ASAP. Look at top 6, put a basic energy you find there to a base Pokemon on your bench. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VA Seeker, 2 Flowstone for that free retreat, 2 Super Rod, and 2 Trainers Maul. It's a very interesting thing. So far, like most of the decks, I think Chris is the only one who played 4, but out of top 4, no, he only played 3 Trainers as well. So nobody played 4 Trainers Maul, which is very interesting because when you think of Trainers Maul, you usually always think people play 4, right? But none of these people have played 4. They're just starting to cut them instead of playing more consistency cards, which is very, very interesting. And I wonder if this like trend is going to continue or not. And 1 EXP share, if an active Pokemon's knocked out, you can move energy from that Pokemon to the guy on the bench that has the EXP share. Only basic, so only fair energy will be moved. And that's going to be Caleb's top 4 Rainbow Road deck. Alright, so next up is going to be Clinton playing the Volcanion deck. We covered this, and we didn't cover this with Zach list. We covered Med's list. We actually did an interview with Med, talking about his Volcanion deck. A really, really good deck with like Entei, Skyfield, Dragonite, like a really techy out version. But Clinton actually is going to play like a really standard list. With 4 Volcanion Nexus with the Steam up, your fire Pokemon do 30 more damage if you discard a fire energy. 3 Volcanion with the Power Heater and Steam Artillery, which Power Heater kind of lets you like recycle energies fairly well because you can attach a fire energy to 2 of your different Pokemon, which is fantastic. 2 Shaman and 1 Hoopa. The deck's really fast. Like you want to discard a bunch of fire energies, then use Baby Volcanion to use the Power Heater to power up multiple Pokemon in 1 turn, which is fantastic. And he's going to play 12 fire energies. So that's going to be pretty much like a common thing that we see in all Volcanions. 12 fire energies is definitely a staple. 4, 3, 2, 1 is definitely a staple as well. Unless you're a Med, you're playing like Dragonite and Entei, which we don't see pretty much anywhere else except for Med. Everybody's playing this kind of same standard like 22 cards, but the trainer cards is where it gets different. 4 Sycamore, 2 Lysander, 2 M, and 1 Delinquent. We talked about earlier how if your opponent doesn't know you're playing Delinquent, you kind of scared them all of a sudden by like discarding 3 cards out of their hand out of nowhere and putting them down to 0. And Olympia is going to be a common theme in most decks as well. Just giving that switch out is fantastic, especially against Fright Night, which can lock out your Floatstones. You can just like, all right, I'm just going to Olympia and not worry about using a Floatstone, but then you're wasting a Supporter card. I mean, I don't know, but definitely Olympia is a must-have in a bunch of decks nowadays. Now, he is going to play 2 Parallel Cities, and that's going to be his standing card, which is very interesting because usually in these decks, you play like Skyfields, Scorched Earth. I know I played Rough Seas, but we see Clinton playing a Parallel City. And I guess that's the interesting thing about Volcanion. You never know what stadium they're going to play. They can play pretty much almost all the stadiums. Even Veda Town. I can even see people play Veda Town to help take Knockout's own Mega Pokemon. But he's going to play 2 Parallel City instead. I guess maybe win the Parallel City War. Like I said earlier with Caleb, you can put it down before your opponent does and limit them to 3 before they limit you to 3, which is terrible when you're playing Volcanion. 4 Inner Retrieval, gonna put 2 fire energies back into your hand. 4 Max Elixir, 4 Train as well. So this is gonna be the first list we see with 4 Train as well. Alright, so 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VA Seeker, and 2 Escape Rope. Escape Rope is going to help you against the Fright Night for sure. And also get rid of the Volcanic Heat. Because when you Volcanic Heat, you cannot attack again. You're going to see that Clinton does not play any Ranger, which is very interesting. Like, usually all Volcanic decks play 1 Ranger, but we see Clinton actually opt out to that and instead use a switching method of either Delinquent or Escape Rope. Alright, so 2 Fighting Fury Belt to get 40 more HP and do 10 more damage, and 2 Flowstones. Alright, so that's going to be Clinton's top 8 list. Like I said, we did an interview with the man, so that will be down below as well. Next up is going to be Devin Tilson, which he played the Mega Scissor Garbodor deck. Once again, we did an interview with him as well, so if you want to see that, link will be down below to see that interview. So we covered, what, Mahomes, Chris, Amez, and Devin. So 4 out of the 8 people we did have interviews with, and the last one is going to be Wesley Hollenberg playing the Zygarde deck, like it's just Zygarde, Carbink, and no Garb order. Just that's it. And I know a lot of people want to see this list, so here we go. This is going to be his Zygarde Carbink list. Now Zygarde has that Land. It actually has 4 different attacks. If you think about it, it has Lance Pulse, which does 20, and there's standard card to play, it does 20 more damage. Cell Storm 60, heal 30, and Lands Wrath for 100. Now you might be saying, what do I mean by 4? Well, there's an item card, or I guess a tool card called Power Memory, which has an attack called All Cells Burn. It does 200, and you discard 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. And the interesting thing about All Cells Burns, if you have a strong energy attached to Zygarde, it actually stacks with that. So you can do up to 280 damage thanks to strong energy. If you want to, if you needed to 280, you can do it, which is fantastic. And that's why the Zygarde is going to be so strong in this meta right now. Just like having the option to one-shot pretty much anything is fantastic. And you discard all of your energies, which shuts down some decks like Yveltal that require like all energies in the active, or Mega Mewtwo. You can shut that down as well, because now they can't, like, they're based on both you and your opponent. So Yveltal and Mega Mewtwo need these, but now you're going to discard them all and put yourself down to 0. And you might be thinking, that's terrible. Why would you want to discard all your energy? You can't attack anymore. Well, the plan is after you do that, you switch to a Carbink Break with the Diamond Gift. It does 20, and you attach 2 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your fighting Pokemon. And this is kind of like a cycle kind of thing. You're going to Power Memory, and then you're going to Diamond Gift, Power Memory, Diamond Gift. Now, this combo is not always going to work, but Zygarde is a great attacker overall, which is fine. And Carbink does have the Safeguard, which makes it EX Pokemon cannot hurt it. In some games, you can kind of just steal victories by just using Carbink Break and make your opponent can never hurt you. If you don't bench anybody down, then I play Garbodor or play the Hax Maniac, and you pretty much just auto win from there. Like always, play 2 Shaman, and he's gonna play 1 Zygarde as well with the Rumble. This Pokemon, the defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. Which is not too much of a big deal nowadays, because pretty much every deck plays Olympia. Like, even this deck plays Olympia, so they can't retreat. But I mean, they can Olympia out of it, which is okay. But the real thing is going to be Geostrike. It does 120, does 10 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. Now you might be saying, why is it such a big deal? Well, if you have like, 20, 40, 60, 2 Strongs, and a fighting 3-built, you can do 170 and start taking knockouts on some Pokemon, and your opponent has to deal with this non-EX like attacker, just hit Pokemon for 170 over and over again. If they have 3 strong energies on it, you could do 180, 20, 40, 60, yeah, 180, plus a fighting field 190. So you can see why Zygarde could be like a pain all of a sudden if your opponent does not decide to take care of it. 8 fighting and 4 strong energies. Now he's going to play 4 in, 4 Sycamore, 2 Lysander, 1 Olympia, and 1 Pokemon Stone Lady. So he's playing both Olympia and Stone Lady just to help his Pokemon ASAP. And when you combine this with Zygarde, you can hit up to 90 damage in 1 turn, which is fantastic. And we're going to see that Wesley is going to play Faded Town and Perilous City, which is very interesting. Like, that's 5 standard cards, but Faded Town doing 2 more, but going to put 2 damage on each of your opponent's Mega Evolution Pokemon. And Perilous City, once again, just depending on the situation, either down to 3 or less than 20 damage. Alright, so 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Fighting Free-Belt, and 3 Switch. Like I said, he wants to try to get this combo of like a Carbink, then, switching back to the Zygarde, do that over and over again. There's no Flowstone, but Carbink only needs 1 energy to retreat, so not too hard to pull off over and over again. He only plays 3 via Seeker, which is very, very interesting. Like, we have not seen this at all, and he's actually not going to play any Trainer Spell either, so he's going to opt not to play no Trainer Spell and only 3 via Seeker, which is very, very interesting. Like, usually every single deck plays 4 via Seeker, but I guess with 4 in, 4 Sycamore, he's not really relying on these. He's going to make sure he beats like the Vileplume decks. It's going to be good to go that way. And 2 Power Memory, and there you go, guys. Oh, 2 Enhanced Hammer as well. 2 Enhanced Hammer, discard special energies as well. I guess he's like really prepared for those Regice, Jolteon decks by playing, the Enhanced Hammers. He can like play Carbon Break, Carbink, and Zygarde. Like, he has so many outs to that deck. Like he should never lose a Vileplume, which is fantastic. And there we go, guys. There's the top 8 list. Like I said, if you want to see interviews with these guys with Andrew Mahone, Chris Rocher, Ahmed Ali, and Devin Tilson. Links to those will be all down below. Make sure you check that out. But tomorrow we'll cover the senior division, and on Thursday we'll cover the junior division. So make sure you check this out, guys. But hopefully you have a great day. Hopefully you enjoy this interview. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed not the interview. We're not doing an interview. We're covering the top 8 decks. But let me know what you think about this. If you have any suggestions or not. But guys, hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.